Calm down, Los Santos. Don't panic. Relax, 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 relax. This is so
with those laser beams.
Good morning or good night, however way you want to look at it. All right, what's up, guys? Oh, let me know if you're getting any feedback. I'm getting feedback in my headset. If not, I can live with it. Yeah, I hear it too. Hold on. That better? Nope. All right, how about nope. How about now? Nope. Now? Now? Oh, there we go. Okay. That's much better. Okay. Let me know if it's good now. That's because there's more than one of me. Took a few minutes. Sorry about that. All right. You still getting an echo? Hmm. Okay. Much better? Okay, good. Now it's good? Okay. As long as there's no echo. I haven't set up my new mic yet. I haven't been able to do much. So obviously I was supposed to stream a lot earlier, but this is terrible. So obviously you guys know it's Mother's Day this Sunday, but it was also my father's birthday yesterday. So this is one of the reasons I'm cooking this huge brisket because I'm gonna bring some of it to my parents' house tomorrow, and obviously Sunday is going to be. Got an echo again? All right, you know what? Let's try something. This is going to be spot on here, but I don't know. Maybe we should just try it for the hell of it. Take me to your leader. Hold on. All right, how's that? Let me know if that works. Perfect. Okay. So I used to have it set up before that I would have the desktop audio on. That way, whenever people ping like a super chat or a donation, you could hear the audio. But something got screwy, and now it's picking up the audio from not only my desktop but my mic. So audio is off. So if anyone sends anything in, I'll just have to pay attention. But you're not going to hear the audio. But I'll read it out, just in case. Um, but yeah, I gotta set up my mic. But yeah, so that's why I didn't get my videos out this week. Not to mention, I want to, you guys know I want to do the best I can for presentation, right? So I had the guy who did my thumbnails before when I had that nice little 3 month run like a year ago. Um, I reached back out to him to see if he'd be willing to do my thumbnails again, and it took about a day to get in contact with him, but we're gonna be reconvening, so that makes me happy because I like the way he did my thumbnails. Um, so yeah, so I already had finished my scripts for my Monarch season 2 review, and what's the Project Hail Mary. So I have those two ready to go, ready to record, I should say. So I'm probably gonna put those up next week because I kind of want to do the videos, and then I have the what's it called? Then some other videos. I didn't, man. Mortal Kombat 2 came out this weekend, and I'm just not gonna be able to see it. I'm gonna have to wait till next weekend probably to see it because, you know, birthdays, Mother's Day, family stuff. And that sucks because I'm hearing good things. Did anybody see it yet? Not yet. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. You saw it, Matthew? Was it good? Did you like it? You gonna wait till streaming? You don't plan on watching it? You know what it is? What's going on? Hey, what's going on? Mr. L. Mr. L, did you change your? You're now Mr. L 5783. Oof. It's gonna be hard to get used to. What was I gonna say? Yeah, you know what it is? I really like Carl Urban, so yeah, it came out today or yesterday. Obviously Thursday as well. All movies come out on Thursdays now. They try to get whatever money they can those Thursday early releases. I just saw The Devil Wears Prada 2 with your lady friend. Now, when you say lady friend, is that like the millennial? No, I shouldn't say millennial. Is that like the Gen Z way of saying girlfriend now? So you don't like misappropriate or something? Is that like a like is that like a what they call that? PC way of saying girlfriend? Kinky Dora. Or is she really just like a lady who's your friend? Because you'd have to be very good friends to go see Devil Wears Prada 2. I mean, I can get it for my wife whenever I want, and she still can't convince me to go see that movie. Something like that, apparently, Rob. We're basically boyfriend girlfriend, but without the title. Okay, so you just fucking. That's called friends with benefits. Until one of you start fucking someone else, then the benefits over, and then you realize you were boyfriend and girlfriend. It sets up a crossover with the new Street Fighter. I appreciate the spoiler. Thank you very much for that. Leave it to Joey. Fucking. That would have been nice to discover on my own, but no, he just comes out and says it in the fucking chat like it's nothing. Unfucking real. The more things change, the more they say the same. Unprepared from giving away spoilers. Unfucking real. Yep. I didn't want to find that out myself. So they're gonna have a crossover in the movies, but they haven't done a game crossover. Somehow that seems sacrilege. How can you do it in the movies first and not or did they have a crossover in the game? I haven't played fighting games in a long time. I just don't have the reflexes for it anymore. It doesn't. Please, no spoilers. Oh, it doesn't do. Okay, so he's trolling. Okay, well that actually makes me feel better. I'm looking forward to the Street Fighter movie. I'm kind of looking forward to Street Fighter 2. Obviously, it's looks a lot cheesier, but that can be a good thing. I didn't get to see Mario Galaxy. You know, my son really wasn't interested. I asked him, I said, "Buddy, you want to go see it?" He was like, "No." He was like, "I heard that's." He was like, "I heard it wasn't that great. I'm just gonna wait." I'm like, "All right." Night 2 of WrestleMania was much better. My son likes it in general. Because we only watch the PPEs. We don't watch like Raw, SmackDown. I keep up with the stories, and then he'll ask me what's going on and why these people are wrestling, and I'll give him the story. Sometimes he gets so impressed with it, he's like, "Oh my god, wrestling has so much lore." I'm like, "Buddy, wrestling has lore dating back to the 40s." But yeah, I want to see Mortal Kombat, and then oh my god, Disclosure Day's coming out. We had our own Disclosure Day today, huh? UFO files. I haven't delved into it yet, but I'm hearing that there's some nothing crazy, but some interesting stuff. But apparently this is like the first wave of stuff they're gonna release, and there's some senators or something saying that it's supposed to get better. Like there's supposed to be more distraction. Oh god, they're not distraction files. What are they distracting from? When you consider how large and powerful the government is, do you really think they need to distract us? They can do whatever the fuck they want. From the Street Fighter crossover. I know, goddamn government. How dare they try to keep the Street Fighter Mortal Kombat crossover away from us? The rat poop has been in the news already. Oh yeah, the hantavirus. Yeah. I don't think that's gonna be a pandemic, in my opinion. Um, it's got a pretty deadly death ratio rate, but the problem, a virus like that, because it doesn't. What was the number they said? So like coronavirus was like a 1.2. What was the term they used? Basically, what they said was it doesn't last long enough to jump fast enough to be a pandemic. And this particular strain is contagious, but it's not contagious during the incubation period. So you literally got to like be around someone who's sick with it already. Like they have to be sick and coughing and shit for you to have a chance to catch it. But like if you were to like sit next to somebody who has the hantavirus in their system, but they're not showing symptoms, like it's in the incubation phase, you can't catch it that way. I think you showed us a demo teaser trailer for one once. I might be wrong. Teaser trailer for what? Did I miss what I miss? Who showed you that? Me? Release the UFO files? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's a pretty nasty virus. I mean, the real way to that's I think it's the Argentinian strain, and then there's the other way to get it, which is like what is it? You literally have to eat rat shit to catch it. Is the other way of getting the hantavirus. So there's a certain strain that is contagious human to human that comes from Argentina, I think. And then the other version of getting it is basically literally you have to eat rat shit. The problem is that there is a 6 to 8 week period prior to when it symptoms. Yeah. But like I said, during that period where the symptoms are incubating, you cannot catch it from that person. You can only catch it from them when they're actually showing the symptoms. Godzilla Minus Zero, I think will definitely be cinema. Dune 3 should be really good. And we'll see about Avengers Doomsday. So the second type will come from India or China. Or come from any third world country that's not the United States. Or any country that's not the United States. I shouldn't say that. I sound like a nationalist. Yeah, no, this is it for Trump. Once he's done here, he's done. So all the Trump crybabies out there will find somebody else to call a fucking Nazi and shit like that and try to get them killed. Why make a new Planet of the Apes that's not connected to the Caesar saga? Because Hollywood doesn't have any more original ideas. Yeah, I'm excited for Minus Zero, especially considering there's going to be another monster in it, and who that monster will be. It's probably going to be Titan X, right? Titan X was pretty cool. I liked her. I like Titan X. Very much reminded me of Biolante. A lot. I mean, obviously, Biolante can swim, but I don't know. There was just some elements about her that made this reminded me. Not saying that it was or that, but I kind of feel like they might have taken inspiration from Biolante to make her. I kind of feel that. in my opinion. More excited for Minus Zero than Supernova so far. Well, yeah, and that's also because we really haven't gotten anything for Supernova. And with the assumption that Space Godzilla's in it, or I guess all but confirmed that he's in it, I'm sure there's some people who are, they'll probably just kind of biding time for excitement until they see something. Because Space Godzilla, that could be a hit or miss depending on how they design him. $50 as Balrog. I love that X. I love Titan X. I wonder if she'll appear in the movie after Supernova. Yeah, I mean she ain't dead, or maybe she's the base form of Space Godzilla. You know, maybe she's the base form. Maybe they're gonna use Axis Mundi as a way to explain how Space Godzilla got here and got stuck in Axis Mundi. Have you heard about the Predator versus Planet of the Apes comic book series coming out in the summer? No, I didn't. I didn't hear about that. I would love to explain how Space Godzilla even makes sense. Right now, as far as I'm concerned, he does not. But I'm still not 100% convinced he's in the movie. Despite that form that people kept referencing. I don't know. I can understand the title. You know what I mean? I get it. Supernova, Space Godzilla. Now there's, a piece of paper that says that, but I still don't see the connection, or how they're going to pull that off. I mean, is there going to be enough time in a movie to explain a monster from space that looks like Godzilla or that shares Godzilla's DNA? They could fuck it up too. It could be something they call Space Godzilla. It is from space, but it looks nothing like Godzilla. And the only reason they call it Space Godzilla is because it's got some DNA similarities. But imagine it looks nothing like Godzilla. I think a lot of people would be pissed off. Like it comes out and doesn't have like the crystal back, and it doesn't have like dorsal plates or anything like that. It's just like a monster that they randomly call Space Godzilla. I don't think they do that, honestly. I don't think they would do that. They've been pretty good about taking some of the original monsters and giving them a really good look. You know what I mean? I mean, when you think about Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah, I mean, they did an excellent job with those monsters in terms of modernizing them and giving them their own, doing their own version of those monsters. So I don't think they'll do that if he's in the movie. But I got to be honest. Based on the story of the origin of Space Godzilla from the Toho films, I'm not saying they're gonna follow that pattern, but if not, where are they gonna go with it? I guess that's my question. Like, how's it gonna happen? And do you have enough time to explain that? I mean, let's be honest. As much as I love the Monsterverse movies, they're not exactly strong on story. It's something pretty quick and simple, and then they move on right to the big old fights that we want to see. I don't know why they wouldn't just use an original monster. It's so much cheaper. Well, it's not just that. I mean, to their credit, their original monsters have been really good. I mean, look at Titan X. Titan X carried the whole season of Monarch season 2. I mean, what did we get? 2 scenes with Godzilla. We got the dream sequence of him, and then we got him fighting Titan X. Was there another one? I can't recall, but if there was, it wasn't that big of a scene because I don't even fucking remember it. And with that being said, it was still a very good season, much better than season 1. In season 1, we got more of Godzilla. Yeah, Shimo's really cool. Hell, even the Scar King, I warmed up to him when I finally saw the movie. And not just Shimo, look at all the other monsters that they've had. Even though they've had short stints, a lot of them, the monsters they've created look really good. We'll get in line like this Titan is like the Godzilla of space. Yeah. Yeah, the Muto were a very unique design as well. The moment time travel was mentioned, I wasn't impressed. Oh, you talking about Monarch? I don't think I don't think there's gonna be time. I think this Isabel Simmons. I think she's just fucking with Kentaro. I think she's just using him to kind of get closer to Monarch or maybe get information. I don't know why. Well, I go over that in my review. I don't want to get into it now, but I have some things to say about Kentaro this season. As good as season 2 was from season 1, the characters from the past are still the shining star. Director of Supernova, I forget his name, some newbie. It's nobody like they've been pretty consistent about hiring directors that are either new or a couple of movies into their career. So it's nobody you may not have heard of them. Yeah, Grant Sputor, yeah, that's him. Yeah, you're never gonna hear something like you know Guillermo or Spielberg or anything like that. You're not gonna get directors like that. Their budgets are very tight, so they got to find quality at a. They have to find decent directors at a discount price, and I'm pretty sure that while these guys are directing, they're probably under a pretty good kind of. I don't think they have as much creative freedom as we might think. This guy seems to talk like it. They do that he does, but I'm sure they're gonna stick with the formula. You know, I already have my own theory on how Space Godzilla could be in the Monsterverse, but I'm waiting till you do your vid on it to post how I think Supernova could go with Space Godzilla's origin. Yeah, yeah. it's gonna take me a while to brainstorm that because I really can't figure it out. You know, I mean, yeah, I guess you could reference some of the Easter eggs they've done in the past movies in terms of flirting with the idea of something being in space, whether it's the little Easter eggs on Bernie's podcast list of like what was it, Planet X, and then asking to talk to Madison's father about Area 51 and shit like that, and then looking at all the technology Apex has. So, I mean, those are little tidbits that lean into some sort of technology further advanced than what even the movies had. And then you can lean into this. I mean, come on, man. Having the technology that to create the heave and then using that, for lack of a better term, that train terminal they had going across the planet to China. I mean, so obviously there is the potential to bring aliens or alien technology in. So yeah, that's parallel to maybe bringing in another space monster like, you know, obviously building Mechagodzilla. So there's something to say that they flirted with the idea of going into space. It's just such a jump to go from flirting to full balls out to space and then bringing in Space Godzilla. It's just like, that's a leap. And how are you going to explain that? Unless they're going to do what they did with Mechagodzilla and Space Godzilla is just like, you don't really see him until the end. Like, you know how throughout the whole movie of Godzilla, Godzilla versus Kong, it was like pieces of Mechagodzilla and Godzilla was kind of chasing that around. And then finally he's revealed at the end. Well, not at the end, but in the middle of the movie and then full fledged in the end. They might do something similar. So then you got the crystals, right? The crystals that are in the Hollow Earth that the Iwi were using or that other ancient tribe were using to kind of manipulate gravity and stuff. So I mean, the signs are there. I'm not denying that. You know, when you kind of look at all the history, but I just think from a story point of view, like how do you just go out of nowhere and say there's a space Godzilla? Like how did he become Space Godzilla? It does if it's any other space monster like Gigan or the Return of Ghidorah or a different version of Ghidorah, that I can understand. We've already seen a space monster. We've seen signs of technology that could be from space. But how did Godzilla's DNA or anything how's that connected to a monster from space that makes that monster Space Godzilla? That's kind of where I'm trying to like connect the dots, you know? No, that's what I'm saying, James. That's my point. Like, yeah, we all knew that by default, but yeah, they they skimmed over it pretty quickly, but they did acknowledge it. Yes, and that's my point. Like, if there was another space monster to come into the MonsterVerse, that's not an issue because they've already established that. My question is, how is this space Godzilla? How is this space monster related to Godzilla? How are they gonna connect that? You know, in one movie with no hint of it happening before. I mean, I guess they could do the Godzilla cell thing where when Ghidorah brought him into the stratosphere and as he was burning and falling, like some of his cells burnt away into space. And I guess you could say that, you know, I think that's the closest thing I could think of. I agree. It's a stretch. I'm afraid the general audience won't really buy into Space Godzilla either. You know, that used to be my argument. I'm starting to realize now that I don't think the general audience gives a shit. I think as long as they see big monsters going boom, they're happy. They don't care a fuck where the monsters come from. There's an explanation in the movie. Oh man, you gotta tell me what that is because it must have flew over my head or I just don't remember. Maybe there's a little bit of Godzilla in all of us. Oh man, that sounds pretty painful. I always assumed Gigan was found by Apex and his tech was reverse engineered to build Mechagodzilla. Well, I mean, it's not safe to assume that because that hasn't been established as of right now. That is basically that has not happened at all. Based on there's been test screens already. Jesus Christ, I had no idea. Space Godzilla versus John Cena would have been a better retirement match for him, but it could be if they wanted Gigan in the MonsterVerse. Yeah, or he could just come from space and not have anything to do with Apex. Um, I don't know. I think they've done pretty good with their own monsters. I got to be honest. I really don't think they need to go the route of Toho monsters. They've been pretty positive. Well, fill me in. So what's explained in the test screenings? I guess if those test screenings are real, then I guess it's a done deal, right? I thought Gigan would come before Space Godzilla. Well, it all depends on what your favorite Godzilla villain is. There've been people clamoring for Anguirus and people clamoring for all sorts of monsters from Toho, which is all biased opinion. It's all about what you like. And there's some people who apparently everybody loves Space Godzilla now, which still to this day is weird to me. What did you think of the Minus Zero trailer? I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. I'd like to see more, obviously, but yeah. When I saw him walking by the Statue of Liberty, I laughed my ass off. I was like, oh my god! I'm like more than 10 years later, and I can finally that what I said in the Godzilla 2014. What was it? The second trailer, and I was like, oh my god, they're in New York. I'm like, well, that actually works now. I'm gonna have to find that clip and re-upload that. But as it stands relative to Godzilla minus zero, Godzilla looks better, bulkier in minus zero. Um, I don't know. He looked the same. I mean, he's always been a chubba mug, so hitting the gym, going well. When you have that much pounds of pressure sitting on you for however long he was down there, you got to build some muscle to be able to hold up all that weight. What's going on, John? Oh, that's right. You West Coast guys, this is good for you. I forgot. Jonathan's in Hawaii. Joey's in California. This is a good time for you guys. That's why Joey's here. I'm starting at an appropriate time for him. I think for him it's like what 9:30, 10:30. Godzilla vs Space Godzilla is one of the worst in the entire series. It's so bad. I agree. And Space Godzilla just in general is a bad monster. I was surprised the only dialogue in the minus zero trailer was in English. Well, they know that their audience is here. So that's why it's kind of going to be released at the same time. I mean, let's be real. They made a bulk of their money on the first movie in the States. They've opened up businesses over here in relation to their Godzilla products. So, don't be surprised if most of their movies now come out here at the same time. 10:30 p.m. Yeah. That's prime time for you guys. Tom Cruise is the US president in minus zero. I will say one thing, man. If they make a third like Godzilla minus movie, it wouldn't surprise me if they start putting some Hollywood actors in there. I think Space Godzilla looks cool when he's not flying. I think he looks absolutely swollen. He's a fat ass. I mean, Godzilla's a big guy, but man, Space Godzilla, man, he's a fatty. I don't. It's not that shocking, dude. When you think about how much money they made last time in the States, that's a smart move. Why hold it for 3 or 6 months? Just release it. People gonna they. This is where their bread is buttered, man. The money they get from Legendary for the Monsterverse, the money they make from releasing Godzilla films here that they make. Godzilla's not that popular over there. I mean, he's from there. They take it for granted. They can go see something Godzilla related whenever they want. It's not like we have a Godzilla ride or a Godzilla hotel. It's like if you live in New York, like the Statue of Liberty, it's like, oh yeah. It's like, oh yeah, look at that. But tourists, that's the first place they go when they come to New York. They go straight to the Statue of Liberty. I remember when I went there, the whole time I lived in New York, I went to see the Statue of Liberty once. And after that, I was like, oh, okay. That's pretty cool. Minus Zero's Japanese release is November 3rd. US gets November 6th. Yeah. Now, I don't know. Well, maybe you guys know this because I've been out of the loop, but I don't know if it's going to be in English when it comes out here or if it's going to be subtitles. Any of you guys know that? The climax of the movie is going to be Christmas in New York. Oh, subtitled. I hope sub since I saw -1 sub in my theater. It'll be in English. Yeah, I was wondering about that because wasn't some of the trailer in English? Well, if he's coming to New York, you gotta make American people there, so at least some of it's gonna be in English. Maybe they'll bring back. Oh no, didn't he die? I was gonna say maybe they'll bring back the guy who played Glenn. But he died, didn't he? Did he pass away? I don't know. I'm so out of the loop. There's going to be a scene in English and Japanese in the main movie. Since Minus Zero takes place in New York, I think it'd be funny if they had Godzilla step on a King Kong skeleton on display like the '98 trailer. Mm-hmm. Oh, we just been shooting the shit, and then now talking about Godzilla Minus Zero. We haven't really gotten to any particular topics because this was kind of the spur of the moment for me. Like, I wanted to stream earlier this evening, and it was kind of tough because I've been prepping, making dinner for tomorrow because I'm taking dinner over to my parents' house because it's Mother's Day this weekend, and my father's birthday was Thursday. So I've got like this huge, like 17-pound brisket in the smoker right now, which is why I'm up late because I have to tend to it at least for a little while before I can sleep for a little while. Because it won't be coming out of the smoker to get wrapped until it's like 165 internal, and that's a big boy. I don't think it's gonna hit 165 for a while, so I should be able to sleep a little bit and then get up and able to wrap it and then put it back on to finish off. But that's going to be like a 16 to 18 hour cook. So I put it in at, I want to say I put it in at like 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. And it should be ready by about 3 or 4 tomorrow afternoon. So we're going to have that with some coleslaw, I'm making this, like this cheesy cornbread with honey and what else were we making? Some veggies like squash and shit like that, and then Mexican street corn, which is just black beans and corn. It's nothing special. Well, the Ion, they were both short fights. I think I like the Ion Dragon better. This one, Titan X was more sympathetic, so like you kind of see like Godzilla and Kong kind of let her go when they realized she wasn't really a big threat. Like, didn't they say in the show like Godzilla was trying to lure her in a certain direction? He wasn't necessarily trying to harm her. And then Kong, when Kong realized that it was just looking for its egg, Kong just completely left her alone. It's probably the best monster storyline they've had in all of the Monsterverse. Like, they actually gave this monster a whole season to develop. Like, it's probably the best monster character development for a monster I've seen in a long time. Robert, what's your thought on Kentaro being the main villain for the next season? I hope not, because I thought he sucked this season. You know what the problem is? I this is one of those rare cases where the acting is not living up to the script. Because I really did think the story this year was pretty good, but the actor, like, it's funny. I know a lot of people didn't like Kate last season because she was insufferable. Even though I kind of understood why she was portrayed that way, being very bitter and stuff like that. This year was a little bit too heavy on the other side. Or she was a little bit more of a annoying. They haven't found, excuse me, they haven't found a good balance with her. And that's a problem because she's supposed to be the main character. What's going on, Akno? Yeah, season one is like a bookend season. like I would say like episodes like 4, 5, 6, and 7 are pretty weak, but the first 3 episodes and the last set of episodes are good. You know who I actually liked most this season from the modern day characters? Mai or May. At least with her, there's something to chew on because she's been back and forth between Apex and Monarch. To me, there's a lot more there. There's a lot more substance there with her. Where Kate is like, I just don't know what the fuck she's doing. Yeah, May. I even wrote that in my notes for my review that I felt she was the most improved. Yeah, the Rondas are terrible, man. They're a bunch of cheating motherfuckers. Well, not the Randas. It's really because I don't think Bill Randa was a cheater. Kaiko obviously had her little thing going with Lee, and then you had Kaiko's son. Yeah, Bill. Yeah, but to be fair, man, Bill was always out chasing shit. The one thing he should have been chasing was his wife to the bedroom, but no, he had to go after some tentacle monster. He was into the hentai. His wife wasn't, so that's what happened. Yeah, I think Tim's always been solid. He's been a good comedy relief, but not overly like comedic. Like this moment, it's a good balance. They don't overdo it with him. Yeah, I really thought, and I his name escapes me, but I really thought that Kate and Kentaro's father was going to be Lee's son. I was convinced of that almost well up until we found out that that wasn't the case. Although it's not Bill's son either. So apparently Kaiko gets around, man. She gets around. There's still an outside shot that he is Lee's son, Hiroshi. There's still an outside chance that he might be Lee's son. Yeah. Well, he's in charge now of Monarch, so he's got to be a little bit more serious. Did she? I missed that. Who? So who ended up being his father? Oh, a Japanese soldier. Let me guess. His name was Lee. No, let me stop. Her ex-husband is Hiroshi's father. He died from cancer after the bombs. Oh, okay, that makes sense. To me, the past storyline was more interesting. I wish season one was just in the past. They're gonna go back to the past more. Oh, the original Dr. Serizawa was his father? The Serizawa from 54? Is that it? Kentaro changes his name to Ren? Ah, okay. We're gonna have a whole show about past stuff. Yeah. They're not done with that. I think they're aware that that's the strength. I mean, because let's be honest. I mean, Kurt Russell, Wyatt Russell, those are two very strong actors. You can see just the difference in performance from them to the youngins, and even the lady who plays Kaiko is a very good actress. Red Monarch is apparently the title of the spin-off show. Red Monarch? I must have misheard. I thought Hiroshi's dad was exposed by radiation and that's how he got cancer. Yeah, somebody mentioned that. You think the spin-off will have an original monster or a Toho one? I don't know. I don't know if I think they're gonna be very spotty with what they use from Toho. Outside of the Space Godzilla thing, I think they're just gonna always go back to the well. I wouldn't surprise me if you see Mothra at some point show up in either one of those shows. Um, they obviously now the Rodan thing still has me puzzled. No, I'm not 100% sold that he's in the movie. It still doesn't make sense to me, like story wise. Yeah, that truly tells you they give no fucks about continuity. I'm sure they'll find a way to explain it. That's gonna make zero sense. Yeah, it's Radon. Do they have to pay for the rights to Toho Monster every time they use one, or do they get them? So I think it works very similar to other rights. So you get the rights to use something, and it's on a time limit. And once the time limit's up, if you haven't used it within a certain amount of time, it reverts back, or you can't use it anymore. I think that's one of the reasons Rodan popped up. I think that's one of the reasons Mothra popped up. So don't be surprised if Ghidorah pops up at some point. Unless this Rodan is another one and not the same from King of the Monsters. Well, that's what a lot of people thought. But apparently, James showed me this, and I'm sure some of you guys saw it on Twitter, that the visual effects supervisor confirmed that that's Rodan from 2019. Those were his words. Yeah, see, James, that's a good theory. The argument against that is he essentially was sealed in the volcano in Mexico. So if he was sealed there, that would imply that there was no way for him to leave. That's where I get a little confused because if he can't come out of the volcano in, well, not that he can't, he eventually did. They woke him up, but he was essentially sealed there. So I don't know, because you would think he could leave there and use the Titan network to come out of it. I don't know. I just don't fucking know. And you also another thing too is remember in 2019 they refer to Rodan as a legend in the area, the demon god or the fire demon. So apparently there's a long-lasting lore of Rodan there. Now you can't establish a legendary lore like that if he just showed up there 2 years ago. That's why I'm like I don't understand it. He's Rodan, the fire demon. That's when That's when what's his face was like, you had a catchy name for this one? My guess is that the entrance is inside the volcano and he just leaves through the bottom and they just never notice him leaving. Yeah. It's just magma. Nothing to see here. He had a nest in the Philippines and got through magma tubes. I don't know, man. I don't know. That and Monarch discovered Rodan in the volcano in '91. Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, season 2 of Monarch takes place in 2017, right? Could be a migration thing like Titan X. Yeah, it could be. We'll just have to wait, what, another 2 years now before the fucking season 3? Hey, did any of you guys watch my buddy Cody's Crow movie? Hopefully they had another fighter jet chase in season 3. That was one of the best scenes in King of the Monsters. Oh man, I'm sure they'll try to replicate it, but I don't think it's going to be the same. I'm sure they don't have quite the budget to pull something off like that. Yeah, it's a long watch. It's a long movie. I'm going to review it next week as well. Days of Sodom. It's a Crow fan film he did, but it's really good. I don't know. Did you guys ever see the trailer? Maybe we could put the trailer up real quick. Give you guys a little inspiration to go check it out. I mean, if you're a hardcore Crow fan, you'll more than likely like it. Because it's very Crow-esque. You know, like it's got the aesthetics of the Crow and very respectful but inspired by the 94 movie. For sure. It's the name of the YouTube channel is Wet Paint Pictures. It's up there. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. Okay. Let me see if I can find his I'll show you guys the trailer. The final trailer, here it is. Let's see, can I? Oh, well, I guess I'll put it over here then. And put this over here. All right. Huh, no audio. That's weird. Hold on one second. And there it is. Yeah. No, it looks really good. Oh shit, I'm echoing again. Why is that? I think I know why. Okay, there we go. And yours truly has a small cameo in the movie. I like the music. I'm kind of a sucker when it comes to epic versions of classic songs. Yeah. Well, the soundtrack for the movie is really good. That's one thing. Actually, it's very there's some tracks that are very Batman Begins inspired. I noticed that in the movie. I'm like, oh wow, this reminds me of Batman. Like like in every mainly in the first one, but they also use the tracks a couple of times in the next two movies. But you have that like like from the Batman movies. It's something similar to that. Do you know how much it costs? It looks very high quality for a fan. I think he. Well, you'd be shocked to know that I think he raised about 120 grand to make the movie. And yeah, no problem there, Castaldo. Take it easy, man. Thanks for stopping by, considering how late it is. Um, yeah, I think he spent about 120 grand, and which I don't know how the hell he managed to. Not that I'm surprised he raised that much money. That's not what surprised me. What surprises me was that he spent only that much, considering that Mickey James, Maven, and uh, Vernon Wells are in the movie. Yeah, it took him a long time to film the movie. Yeah, yeah, she's in it, and he does a very respectable job of paying homage to the original film without taking his own liberties. He did take one liberty, but I thought it was very tasteful. It was well done, and it was very relevant to his story. So, we're gonna wrap it up here soon, guys, because I have to give the brisket one more spritz, and I should try to get a few hours sleep because I'm still gonna have to get up early to make sure it's, you know, I have to make sure I catch it when it hits that 165 internal, because then I have to wrap it and put it back on the grill. So like probably 5 more minutes. Yeah, I know. But hey, at least I showed up. I was kind of bummed because I got so wrapped up and busy earlier. I was like, fuck, man, it's already like 9 o'clock, and then I'm sitting here and I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing anything. Let me see if anybody's up. I said, I know it's super late, but hell, why not? And it turned out a lot of you were still up, so bunch of bunch of owls like me. Yeah, man. I hope you enjoy it. I want to check out Mortal Kombat. Yeah, it's 2 o'clock here, so or it's gonna be two in a few minutes. Hey, you guys, how you guys feeling about Grand Theft Auto 6? Apparently, it's a done deal coming out the 19th. They already started marketing, so it doesn't look like it's gonna get delayed. Your opinion on Minus Zero's design when he came out of the water? Well, he looked like he was still that kind of zombie-looking Godzilla, so I'm assuming that's probably when he first reemerges, and then he kind of heals up over time to start looking like he normally does. Is it possible for it to live up to the hype? It's gonna be tough. I like the Grand Theft Auto series. I remember when I played the first one on PS. I can't believe that particular franchise has gone so far, has come as far as it's come. I recently played Grand Theft Auto 5 again, um, because when I played it the first time, I never really enjoyed some of the extras in the game. I kind of ran right through the campaign. So, and knowing that 6 was coming out, I said, if I'm gonna go through this campaign again, now's the time, because when 6 comes out, I'm probably not gonna ever touch 5 again. But apparently, from what I understand, pretty much when you're playing the game, it's not set scheduled heist like in 5. You could pretty much plan a heist for any location in the game. Like if you want to run a heist on a bodega, you can. So there's a lot of freedom with heist, because one of the biggest complaints, and I agree with this is one thing I was a little frustrated with Grand Theft Auto 5, was you only get like 5 heists in the whole game. And then out of those heists, there's only 2 of them where you make any money. And it's really only the last heist at the Union Depository where you make any significant money. Like, it's almost like you really can't spend or enjoy anything in the game until you get to the end. And then you got to do that trick where you save the assassinations for the end so you can play the stock market. So instead of walking away with like, I don't know, what is it? You get like $50-60 million at the last heist. But if you play the stock market during the assassinations, you end up with like almost $1 billion. So then you can go around and buy anything you want in the game. But then the businesses are not as, so it's, I think they're going to improve it. And that's what I'm looking forward to. My thing with Grand Theft Auto 5 is like the post game was not what I thought it should have been. Like, yeah, you could do a lot of things. You can play golf, you can buy all these businesses, but there was no real customization. There was really no, some of the side quests were kind of not that great, The one that you do with Mike with like that cult, and the one that you do with Trevor, where you have to bring like 4 people to the cultists in the mountain, like those are good. Nah, there ain't gonna be no Trevor in GTA 6. You might get a reference to Trevor, Franklin, and Mike, but nah, this one's gonna be the 2 characters. I think is Lucia and what's the guy's name? I forget. Was it Greg or something like that? And it's not gonna be that whole stupid you choose one character so it zaps you across the map. Apparently they're together all the time and you can just switch between them. And then you can determine by how you play with the characters and how you interact with them will determine if they're like pure business relationship, whether they develop a relationship, like a real one, or if they're kind of like platonic, like just friends. So apparently there's going to be some romantic elements to it, or at least the potential for that. Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be pretty dynamic, and the graphics look, they look incredible. I wish it was coming out for PC. It's not going to come out for PC for like a year later. But I'll get it on the PS5. No biggie. San Andreas is a great game. That's one of the best ones they ever created. I would love to go back and play that if the fucking remodeled or remastered one didn't look so shitty. Tomorrow, probably not, because like I said, once all this food I'm cooking is done, I'm going to my parents' house because it's, like I said, it's Mother's Day on Sunday, so I want to see my mom, and my father's birthday just passed, so his birthday was on Thursday. So I guess it would depend on what time we get back, but then there's Backlash tomorrow, and like I've told you guys before, usually when there's a wrestling PPE, me and my son, that's kind of like father's. Well, I should say father kid time because my daughter watches too. Next week there'll definitely be streams for sure. You know, that's the only one I have not played is GTA 4. And I heard it's one of the best ones. I'm probably gonna pull the trigger on that one. I think it's only $19.99 for like the full package one where you get like Liberty City Stories and GTA 4. I don't think it comes with the Ballad of Gay Tony, but I'm not sure. Yeah, we definitely gotta go over the UFO files for sure. Yeah, I've heard people say GTA 4 is like narratively is the best one, like story wise. Yeah, and it's the most grounded. Yeah, so I got to check it out. That's of all the ones that have ever come out. That's the only one I missed. Yeah, what time is Backlash tomorrow? Maybe I can stream after it's finished. If it starts at 7, that usually means it's done by like 9:30. You said I think it's at 7 o'clock. Yeah, it starts at 7 because well no, hold on. Oh no, the main card starts at 6. So you know what? Maybe probably after Backlash tomorrow. So that just means we'll start at 9 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock. We can do that. I don't see why not. Yeah, it just said the main card starts at 6 p.m. Am I worried about GTA potentially being woke? No. I think they're going to. It depends because if you remember, a lot of the GTA games are set in like the 80s and 90s. I think GTA 5 was one of the only ones set at current time. But like Vice City and all that shit, a lot of those games would take place in the like timeline wise take place in the 80s and 90s. So if this one takes place in 2026, I don't see wokeness in it in the sense of what we know it to be. I can see wokeness being in it to be made fun of. I very much doubt Rockstar is going to be stupid enough to go away from what makes their game so popular, which is being non-PC. Yeah, unfortunately, we're just wrapping it up here. Um, Fortitude, Ray. Fortitude. I'll just say Fortitude. Hopefully, the only thing we see will. Yeah, I think you'll see woke elements, but not in the sense of trying to send a message. I think you'll see them make fun of it. Well, The Boys is a little bit heavy-handed on messaging through comedy and dark humor. I mean, remember, there it's not even tongue in cheek. It's pretty much pretty direct that Homelander is Trump. It's pretty straightforward. I don't think GTA 6 is going to be like that. I think GTA 6 is going to be whatever you remember from the other GTA games: crime, a lot of cursing, a lot of raunchy humor, a lot of the N word spoken by the black guys, and I think you'll see wokeness there, but only in moments to make fun of it. And I think they'll make fun of both sides if it even gets to that. I don't even think they'll touch politics or that kind of culture. They might, but I don't think they're gonna do it at the expense of their game in the sense that they're gonna try and send a message. It's a crime game, so you know, yes, there's they've had politics before, but only in the sense of corrupt people, not really in messaging and shit like that. I still like the boys, even though it's been what's the word I'm looking for? Diminishing returns. Because really the acting has been so good, you know? And at this point I kinda want to see how it's gonna end. It looks like it's gonna end very differently from the comics. That's for sure. Will I buy it even if it's over $80? Probably. I think GTA 6 is probably going to be the only game that's going to be worth that much. The problem, and a lot of people are concerned with that price tag because other games are going to think that it's going to be okay to charge that price for their game, but their game is not going to be able to deliver what GTA 6 potentially can deliver. All right. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to go check on my brisket, give it another spritz, check the temperature, try to get an idea of how long I can sleep before I got to get up. But yeah, I'm glad I at least got to catch up with you guys for a little while. I was a little bummed earlier because it was bad enough that I missed my videos this week, but I have so much going on. And then you remember it's like, oh, I got to do this and I got to do that. And then next thing you know, boom, time's up. So, but yeah, considering that the main card for Backlash starts at 6 tomorrow, I think it's reasonable to think it'll probably end no later than 9:30 because they did put an extra match on the card. So it's not as short as normally. I think it's going to probably go till about 9:30. But after that, yeah, I don't see why it couldn't. But yeah, and we'll talk about more stuff in detail, especially next week. I kind of want to do my reviews first before going into elaborate conversations. Because if we do that here, then you guys, it's like spoilers for the videos. So, but anyway, look, you guys have a good rest of the morning. In this case, and yeah, I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow night. I'll come on for a little bit after the wrestling, for sure. Maybe I'll eat some more brisket on screen with you guys. You guys can be jealous of my brisket. All right. You guys have a good night. I'm glad I got to catch up with you. We'll definitely talk tomorrow. And then I got some videos for you guys next week. All right. All right, guys. Have a good